What's up, guys? Welcome back to Walker Views, and it's time for a review of another vinyl. This time it's Nine Inch Nails' Bad Witch. This is their ninth studio album, so number 9. Um, Often this album was actually, technically it's an EP because it's only got 6 songs on it, but it's marketed as their ninth album. This was released back in June 22nd, 2018. It's a 180-gram version of Bad Witch. I first listened to this when on CD originally before I decided to get it. And when it came to me collecting vinyl, I just wanted to pick out my favorites, you know, the ones I listened to most, and this was one of them. So I'll go through each of the songs. So the first one is Shit Mirror. Some of these tracks are very kind of experimental, and Nine Inch Nails have always been experimental, and so much so I was privileged to get the tattoo about 7 years ago, but I'm going to go and see them at the O2 in June this year. Yes, for the Peel It Back tour. So one way to listen to all their albums again and get into the mood of going to see them live. Can't wait. It's like a dream come true. Yes, Shit Mirror is the opening song. Feels very classic Nine Inch Nails, with a bit of sort of that heavy distortion that Trent likes to use. Trent and Atticus like to use that feature. Then we get to track 2, Ahead of Ourselves. We going ahead of ourselves, we going ahead of ourselves. That has got like sort of like a electronic sort of beat to it, and Trent having these distorted vocals in it. Really cool. So we'll have a look inside as well as I'm going through the songs. But here you go. In the inside here is the list of the tracks. Kind of like a bit of like a blurb, so all 6 of them. Interesting. I like the artwork and style of for the album. So just all designed by Trent and Atticus, I believe. Written, arranged, produced, programmed, and performed by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. They are Nine Inch Nails. Additional vocals on Shit Mirror by, I believe his wife, I think. Mary Queen, I think. Of course, Reznor. A bunch of thank yous. Knoll Corporation, that's their label. Originally, Trent Reznor was with, he founded Nothing Records, but I think that became extinct after so many years. I think it was on their for their first album, Pretty Hate Machine, and then throughout. I think the last album that was on Nothing Records was, I think, With Teeth, and then after that he switched to his own label, or created his own label called the Knoll Corporation. Yeah, so then we get to, there's a couple of sort of instrumentals on this as well. Track 3 is Play the Goddamn Part, and that one is like a cacophony of sort of saxophones, and it's very Bowie inspired, I believe, this album or EP. To me, it's an album, definitely for me. I know you think 6 songs, but yeah, to me it's an album, because I think that in terms of the length of the songs, this is quite a lengthy EP, because the songs quite drag themselves out a bit, especially track number 5, which we'll get to later. But Play the Goddamn Top Part features these sort of kind of pianos and synthesizers, and like really sort of harsh droning sounds, and the saxophones, really good. Then the main single that was marketed for this is called God Break Down the Door, which features this sort of kind of nice sort of catchy sort of riff using a synthesizer, and you can hear just the Bowie influence in Trent's voice when he says, "Gotta break down the door, you won't find the answers here." You know, that's cool. I love that one. Track 5 though gets really hypnotic and dystopian. Track 5 is called "I'm Not From This World," and it's 6 minutes of just pure droning and just what Trent and Atticus are really well known for. It's just making a great sort of soundtrack piece as what they're famous for. And there's definitely some influence here. It reminds me of Quake, the Quake soundtrack in a way, this particular song, track 5. It's almost like you're being hunted by this dark entity in the dark or something, and it's like it has this uneasiness to it, like a wow, 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 wow. That's the sort of synthesizer beat to it throughout the track, and it just builds and builds and builds and gets more intense. It reminds me of something you would hear in like the Alien films or something really cool. And then track 6 is the last one, "Over and Out," which I feel this one is very Bowie inspired. It's has this nice sort of bass riff, sort of like this Indian sort of instrument. I don't know what they call that. And then it comprises of bass guitar, that strange sound, and xylophone as well, which is cool. And then Trent's voice comes in with, let's have a look at the lyrics, if they're on here. Sometimes they don't always put them on here. Nope, they don't. No, it's not often that we get lyrics in here, but he says, "Time is running out. I don't know what I'm waiting for." The sound is, he puts the sound when he sings it, it's very Bowie, and I think absolutely. So Bad Witch, then, that Nine Inch Nails' ninth album, is really cool, really worth listening to, and you'll get lost in this album. It's a great piece to listen to when you're sitting down doing nothing and just relaxing. Really captivates you, and if you like the band, yeah, good. I think it's a pretty good start if you want to get into the band. Try this or the Downward Spiral. For me personally, I first listened to the Downward Spiral or the Fragile, which is their third album. Yeah, give this one a listen if you want to know into Nine Inch Nails. Yeah, maybe I'll review Pretty Hate Machine at some point, because that one was a classic. So yeah, so that's my review of Bad Witch. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.